This GoldenMate Orion is one of the coolest batteries I've ever used. Let's talk about it. What up? I'm from askivesolar, where I like to keep solar simple and practical, give you real life examples of how I use this stuff. I want to talk about this GoldenMate Orion fancy battery, but we're going to get into the plain stuff first. So it is a simple 100 amp hour, 12 point something volt. I think it's 12.6, 12.7. What that comes out to be is 1280 hours. I don't know how we get from 12.6 to 1280 watt hours. I'm making a fool of myself right now because I don't know any better than I do right now. But it's 1200 some odd watt hours, almost 1300. It of course comes with its connectors, which are M8. Mine are really like nicely not screwed in. That's pretty bad. You need to have them tight. It can support a 4S4P configuration. They say this battery has 5,000 plus cycles with a 100% depth of discharge. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what they say. Most batteries are about 3,500 cycles, but theirs is 5,000. The recommended charge rate is about 20 amps, which is what your typical battery chargers are rated at. But the maximum is 50 amps. So you can't charge it at 100 amps. I mean, I'm sure you probably could. But because they say don't do it, I wouldn't do it if you're a rookie or if you don't have a whole lot of batteries and you're willing to risk having an issue with this particular battery, charging it at a 1C rate, which is about 1280 watt hours. That's what we get when we talk about C rates. Why is my lighting getting all This joker weighs about 30 pounds and measures by about 12 by 8 by 8. I'll put the exact measurements right down here. Now that is the basic every battery run-of-the-mill features that they all kind of typically have. Now to get on to the fancy stuff. This is a fancy battery. Let's start with this screen. Look at this screen, man. It's freaking amazing. Now it's not touch. I mean, technically it is touch to activate it, but it is not an interactive battery screen. But I don't care. The screen is fancy. It lets you know what the percentage of the battery is, and it also tells you watts in and watts out on the battery. So I found something out while testing as it relates to the screen. The screen only shows either output or input. It doesn't show them at the same time. Check this out. We have 15 watts going in now. And what I'm gonna do is just pop this little joint in. And when I pop it in, we're gonna focus on the screen and watch what the screen does. Well, turned off. It switched over. So that sucks. That's unfortunate. It is what it is. Screen's still nice, but that's unfortunate. But the good thing is the power is still going in when your screen is showing only one or the other, which is dope. I thought I was living a dream as a new battery guy when I got a battery that had a screen that told me the voltage, because sometimes you can't tell the voltage without looking at it. Now, the screen does not tell you the voltage, which kind of sucks. It'd be nice to know that. But I think percentage is leaps and bounds better than having the voltage. You know, but in a battery world, voltage is important and it doesn't show you that. But there's an application. Speaking of the app, the battery has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can connect your phone to it and monitor the battery that way, which is pretty dope. If we take a look at the app, you can see what it has going on here. You can see what options you have. Here we go. We got voltage, nice. We got current that'll come out. We have power on the far right. And then we got charging state and discharging state. Let's find out what that shows, because I have no idea. Okay, so over here where the power is, that's where you see your watts. And then it actually shows you the amps coming in, which is nice. So we got 13.4 volts, 5.3 amps, 71 watts coming in. Full time is 16 minutes. And then we scroll down here and you can see the temperature, which is a nice touch. It's cool to have an app that can connect to the battery so that you don't have to run up on your battery to see what's going on with it. I think that's pretty fancy. What do you think? I mean, this thing is full of features. It has low temp cutoff. I cannot verify that. It's also waterproof and marine rated. Now, I don't know much about the marine environment. All I know is that it's IP67 rated. They on their site have it shown in different situations where it's like an RV or a boat or a van or something like that. But they show it on a boat, so I'm assuming you can use it on a boat. Who knows? But it's IP67 rated, which I think is dope. I don't think I've ever encountered a battery that was IP67 rated. I don't even know how you accomplish that with a battery with terminals popping. And then it has these little fancy parallel cables As you can see here, there's two. I don't know what this second one does. It has like these stripped wires that are ready to be connected to something. I don't know. They actually don't tell me what this battery cable is for. So actually, I do know what that cable does. It's a communication cable. The manual actually has the information in it. The joint is double-sided. It's like, who knew, right? Duh, I didn't even check it. Now, let's talk about the looks of this battery because I think that that's also fancy. It's one of the nicest looking batteries I've ever had the pleasure of having. So much so that when they reached out to me, they wanted to send me their regular GoldenMate battery, and I was like, "No, look at this Orion. Can you send me that one?" And they had to kind of go back and forth with their people to get me one. Either way, that's not relevant. But look at this design. I love the color. It matches my shirt. And then I like that it looks more like robust than any other battery. I will say this, it has handles built into it. Those handles are not comfortable. They're not comfortable at all. Now we do have to talk about the feet on the battery. These feet are very interesting. They're like a pro and a con in my opinion. It depends on what kind of person you are, whether you like the feet or not. If you want your battery to stay still, which I imagine you would want in like a bumpier environment, they have a little suction to them. Not like suction where they won't move, but they stick to whatever they're on. That annoys me because I like to pick my battery up and move it, and it's a little harder to move than any of my other batteries. None of my other batteries have the suction cups on the side. As you can see, the communication ports have these nice little covers on top of them, and the terminals are interesting because while the red terminal and the black terminal are easily identifiable, the red terminal is kind of muted, and I was doing something with a little bit less than stellar light, and I reversed the polarity on the battery. I think I blew out my inverter, my little Best Tech 500-watt inverter. But it's a little dark to see it. I'm not saying that that's going to be a problem for any of you professionals, but me, I had a slight oversight and I had the cables backwards. I was doing something that was a little more involved. I was testing out these resistors, so it's probably my fault, but I just wanted to point it out to you because I have the battery in hand. It's my experience. Before we get to that testing, this is one of my favorite batteries, so much so that I kind of preserve it a little bit. I mean, I use it a ton, but I don't use it as much as I use some other ones. Future Ive here. The testing portion of the video was just too long. I could not subject y'all to all of that. It would have made this video, which is about a product, absolutely too long. So you can watch it if you want up here on the screen. It'll take me a while to have it ready, so it may not be ready right at this moment. I hope it's ready. Do you see it over there? Is it there? Watch it.